So I'm here today again with the lovely Miss Carolyn. How are you?
Good.
It's blessed to have you back, right? All the way from NorCal, right?
That's right.
All right, so quick recap on how you've been. I know you had a little bit of a flare-up of some lower back pain, right?
Right, but I think that's part of my own issue. Like I said, I wasn't sleeping very well, and so that I wasn't doing the exercises that I was supposed to, because I was sleeping in instead of getting up. Right, I was sleeping in instead of doing my exercises in the morning. But I do feel like my neck is getting better. That it's improving. It still needs work, but it's improving since last time.
Okay, excellent. And what would you say would be the biggest take-home as far as functional improvements? We really like to look towards function in your everyday life.
Biggest functional improvements, just it's less stress in my neck, where before it was just constantly nagging at me, where I feel like that's releasing, and just my flexibility overall continues to improve.
Okay, and what about the lower back pain, and has it limited you from doing things, or have you been able to function and do what you do?
It's more of the muscles have tightened up, so from me not doing what I was supposed to be doing, I have to stretch more to get things moving, and usually after the first hour of waking up, then it's better.
Okay, got it. So you need to exercise more,
right,
and do your homework. You also mentioned you were driving a lot more than usual.
This past week, yes, I had 3 hours one way one night and 3 hours back the next day, a couple of trips to the airport, and then a 5-hour trip here. So
all the way in LA.
Correct.
All right. Well,
lots of driving.
We're gonna get busy here. We just did a test, and we know what to do. We got to get back to those exercises, but here on the table, we've got to get her lower back moving, and we adjusted her thoracic spine, the mid back already. We just checked and saw that she's got a weak right oblique here, so we're gonna start working on this. I'm gonna have you bend your knees. We're gonna do an origin insertion onto her lower ribs. And get this muscle firing again, so just breathe nice and deep. Super fun, right? Bringing back the memories. So once the abdominal muscles are firing properly, we will adjust the spine. And we don't do this on every single person, but when we have a complex case, it oftentimes warrants a more complex analysis in order to get the proper results. Yeah, a little painful?
A little.
Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to hold the legs up. We're going to breathe in really deep. Hold your breath. We're going to shorten abdominal muscles. Breathe and relax. And then slide the legs down. Now we're going to lay onto our tummy, please. And so here what we're going to do is a myofascial release on her lower back, the quadratus lumborum. And once we do that, we'll be ready to adjust her lower back, which I know she's excited about. Get some movement in there. So slow, deep breathing, please. Beautiful. Can I just reference a set of her films? Beautiful. Hips relaxed. And for anybody that's just watching this video and maybe hasn't seen the other videos we've done of Carolyn, you can see there is a scar here in her lower back. She had a spinal surgery how many years ago, Carolyn?
Oh, geez, like 4 years ago?
4 years ago. And she has several vertebrae fused with 4 screws, big screws about that big, going into the vertebrae, into holding the L5, because she had a problem where the vertebrae slips forward. So we're just going to check. I can definitely feel where she's out of alignment. We've also got x-rays to confirm that. And we're going to have her start out on her right side, please. So if you would lay this way. Thank you, Ms. Carolyn.
Well, 4 years ago for the second surgery.
That's right. That's right, when they had to make a change, right?
Yes.
We have our hands here. It's good to heal, isn't it?
It is.
Slow, deep breath in, all the way out. With Carolyn, what we're going to do here, we're adjusting her L3. This is above where the surgery is, above the hardware. And there's different ways to adjust. There's ways where our hand would cross the spine. There's ways where our hand goes like this. There's different types of pelvic adjustments, even the where the sacrum and the tailbone meet. But we're going to be here, and our hand's going to be like this. This is very important with specificity. She's already breathing perfectly, shoulders relaxed. And even put a little more on her shoulders like so. Breathe in and out.
Thank you.
Welcome back, right? That was a big movement at the L3 vertebrae. The L3 goes to the kidneys, the large intestine, the colon, water absorption, vitamin formation, feces formation, very important area. Of course, the lower back muscles, we're going to come over here now. That went really smooth, Carolyn. Hips relaxed.
Things have loosened up so much and aligned more. It's not so locked up and painful like when I first started.
Yeah, it felt a bit jarring at first, didn't it?
Yeah. Now it's so much easier.
Yeah. If you watch some of her earlier videos, especially the first one we did, you'll see the expressions, the way her anatomy would change, her physiology. She would tense up, and now she's much more calm, right? It's a beautiful thing. Bring you a little closer, actually, right there. Hips relaxed. And there we go, just like that. Wow.
I've been waiting for that one. Oh.
Yeah. And that was a big movement, although it was a little less than, let's say, some of the movements we've had. You could tell it was really tight.
Yeah.
So I could tell she really needed to be here for her alignment. Spine has to move, doesn't it?
It does.
Mm-hmm.